Welcome to Waves, West Alabama, Voices Echoing Success, the podcast where local voices inspire big impact. Brought to you monthly by the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama, this is your source for stories of leadership, innovation, and success.
Welcome into another edition of the Waves podcast, West Alabama Voices Echoing Success. And today we have the unique opportunity to interview somebody and have a conversation about something that's super important to the history of Tuscaloosa and all of West Alabama. Dr. Yolanda Page. Dr. Page, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me this afternoon.
Yeah, Stillman has played a super important role over the years in West Alabama. And, one thing unique for you and I is we kind of came into these roles along the same time frame. And I hope that you've been able to settle in as it looks and appears to from the outside. We're certainly proud of the job that you're doing at Stillman.
Thank you. So, yes, I've been able to settle in. It has just been wonderful. Everyone has been very delightful and pleasant to me, except one Saturday out of the month, as we just talked about. And I'm not going to go into details about it, but I've really appreciated the hospitality of everyone here in Tuscaloosa, particularly, but people across Alabama as well.
Well, so let's get into a little bit of that. You pointed out that maybe a little bit of a hesitation this past weekend as it relates to some Louisiana-related things, right?
Yeah.
For those listening, talk to us about your background and where you came from and what brought you to Tuscaloosa and to Stillman in particular.
Okay. So, well, I like to refer to myself now as a Louisiana girl who has set up roots in Alabama. And that's just exactly how my family and I see our time here. You know, it's hard for me to realize that we've been here for 2.5 years now. I've just been very excited by the growth that I've seen in Tuscaloosa. I've very much been excited by the fact that people often stop me to say that they're excited about what they see occurring at Stillman College, how much they support Stillman College, and that they see Stillman College being very much a part of this community. And so that's been very humbling to me, as well as it lets me know that God bringing me to Tuscaloosa was the right thing.
Well, and look, to your credit, I don't know if there's a battery in your back like the Energizer Bunny or something like that, but you have made yourself kind of accessible to the community, and we appreciate that. It doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you for that. You know, you've served at a number of higher education institutions across the country and mainly in the Southeast, but what drew you to Stillman and to Tuscaloosa in particular?
Well, for Stillman, it was that Stillman's mission resonated with me very much like the students we serve at Stillman. I'm first generation, low income. So I really felt that it was an opportunity for me to give back or pour in to the institution and the students what had been poured into me to really be an example for those students. Um, when I researched Tuscaloosa, I found that Tuscaloosa was very similar to a lot of places I had been. Shreveport, which is where I grew up. I've spent time in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've spent time in Savannah, Georgia. So there were a lot of similarities there. I see Tuscaloosa being a city that is on the cusp of being able to do a lot of major things for the people in Tuscaloosa as well as in West Alabama and
That's right.
regionally. So I think there's a lot of exciting times ahead for us, not just at Stillman College, but in Tuscaloosa. And I'm excited to be a part of both.
Well, and to your point, like here in Tuscaloosa, higher education in general across the three different institutions plays a major role in what we do economically, but also in educating our young people, right? It's very unique in that regard.
So, but I think that there's opportunity for us all to work together
No doubt.
to further Tuscaloosa to further West Alabama and Alabama in general. I've had conversations with the presidents of both institutions. When I came here, I said that I wanted to be a collaborator
Yeah.
and not necessarily a competitor. I see that, for me, there are opportunities to build pipelines into the University of Alabama because for a lot of my students, when they come to us, because we serve quite a few students from the Black Belt areas of the state, they see Tuscaloosa as their North Star.
Yeah.
So they come here, they want to stay here. They want to be a part of the economy of Tuscaloosa. There's an opportunity for us to do that through our work and our partnership with the University of Alabama. With our work with Shelton State Community College, I see it as an opportunity for us to be a pipeline for their students who are interested in a 4-year degree, but I also see opportunities for reverse articulation agreements. When you think about the whole idea of micro credentials, there's an opportunity for that. One of the first conversations I had on my first day at Stillman College was a conversation with a young man who was from one of the Black Belt communities. He was majoring in business administration, but he said what he planned to do was to return to his community and help his father run their auto mechanic shop. So my thought was, well, he's getting a degree, a 4-year degree in business, but how about if we looked at working with Shelton State to give him some experience in auto mechanics?
Yeah.
And so that's how we can all work together, I think.
Well, no doubt. There's room for everybody to be successful, and we need that. We need to build those workforce pipelines, but also those educational opportunities.
Absolutely.
Stillman has a proud history and deep roots in the community. How do you balance honoring the legacy while moving the institution forward, right? I mean, there's just so much history that's built in there.
Well, I see our history as an aspect of our future because it's been about providing access. We'll continue to do that. We'll provide access. And that's to anyone who desires a Stillman education. It's also about working with the community. One of the things that I've heard from so many is that Stillman is very much important to the community.
No doubt.
So how do we continue to partner with entities like the institutions, like the chamber, to provide programming for those who are in the community? So that's what we're about at Stillman College. It's about education and it's about being community partners, good community partners.
Yeah, no doubt. And, speaking of one of those partnership opportunities, the Anchor program that's being facilitated by the chamber, you guys have students that have been participating in that. And that's the kind of growth and retention effort that we need to keep those smart young people in our community.
Right. That's important. And, it's just about seeking out other partnerships. We're working with you at the chamber. We're working with Visit Tuscaloosa and just finding ways to make sure that our students are fully immersed in Tuscaloosa and what the growth of Tuscaloosa can look like.
Yeah. And that Anchor program, for those that don't know, is more like our professional leadership program, but for students. And it's just as you said, opening their eyes to the community at large rather than just their campus experience, right?
Right.
And that gives us hopefully a leg up on retaining that talent once they're however many years they want to spend in education. Hopefully, the more the better.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does because, to your point, one of the things that I've been struck with my students at Stillman is many of them don't go very far beyond Stillman College. So it's about getting them outside of our gates, more so into the community, connecting them with students at Shelton State, connecting them with students at the university, and also connecting them with businesses,
Right.
so that they have opportunities for internships and apprenticeships and things like that.
Well, and that's kind of the way we're going to take the conversation. So you teed it up just perfectly. What innovations in teaching, technology, or student experience are you most excited about at Stillman? And like I said, we're going to kind of get into that opportunity within the community beyond that as well.
So what I'm most interested and excited about is the work that we're doing from a cybersecurity perspective. Last year, Google invested $1 million for us to continue that work. But that work is not just about internal to Stillman. It's about what can we do for the greater good of the city and the greater good of the state. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be providing opportunities for other students, particularly students who are in the high schools, to partner with us and to learn more about cybersecurity. And that's going to aid the state. I think also it's about providing opportunities for education. We know that both of our school systems here, they're seeking teachers. We can do that at Stillman College. I think probably if we think about our most historical program,
Mm-hmm.
it's teaching.
Yep.
There's an opportunity for that. And then, of course, we are preparing to construct our state of the art biomedical research center. I see that as an opportunity to partner with you, continuing your TechStars program,
Yep.
partnering with the university with some of the work that they're doing over there. So I think there's lots of opportunity.
Yeah, focusing on those high need areas,
Those
right?
high need
I
areas,
mean,
yes.
and as we look at the local ecosystem, I mean, you're hitting all the fronts there. As a leader, what's your vision for Stillman? Kind of, if we were looking down the road, what does 8 or 10 years from now look like in your eyes, as what impact Stillman's having at that point?
So I want us to continue to solidify our relationships with Shelton State and with the University of Alabama. How can we continue to offer quality education for the citizens of West Alabama? What does that look like? And I'm not saying that that's limited to a 4-year degree, but what does it look like for different pathways, micro credentials, as I mentioned earlier? I also think that it's about looking at what does healthcare look like for West Alabama? How can Stillman provide opportunities for individuals who are looking to go into those a-traditional areas like radiology and things of that nature that we know that the hospitals need, but
Yep.
sometimes they're not as attractive as maybe being a nurse or being a doctor. It's about being AI ready. I
Yep.
think that that's very important. Making sure that companies and students understand that uh, the human aspect of AI is very important. So we need to continue to push the button on that. So I want Stillman to be known as a place where students who want a education at a small institution, that we can provide them with the same quality of education just in a smaller environment. And
Yeah.
that we have partners like
Right.
the chamber who's also providing those opportunities for the students.
Well, and it's funny. It's not funny. I mean, it's reality. Higher education in so many ways is having to kind of morph itself and figure out how to be more flexible, right? For those areas where a micro credential fits better for the long term success, not only of the university, but also of kind of the workforce needs that it's adapting to.
So yes, that's true. So I've said to my team that I want any student who comes to Stillman College who may not at the end of 4 years earn a 4-year degree because they've had to take the off ramp towards their degree, to at the very least leave with some type of micro credential. So what we started this year,
Everybody's version of success looks a little bit different, right?
everybody's version of success looks different. So what we've started this year is that whenever any student who enters Stillman, by the end of their freshman year, they'll have some type of micro credential. So what we've started is with AI readiness, because we knew that that was very important. But we do plan to branch out into some other areas so that if I'm that student who wants to get certified in auto mechanics, then I can certainly do that. Or if I want to go work at, say, Mercedes, then I can do that as well.
Yeah, all those things are so needed. Um, How do you see HBCUs like Stillman shaping the next generation of business and really more specifically civic leaders?
I think it's it's what we do. It's in our DNA.
History
So
too, right? I mean,
right,
there's so
right.
many examples you could point
Right.
to.
It's in our DNA. You know, you're looking at
Right.
one. So, my experience has been as a student, HBCU, as a professional, HBCU. It's what we do because I think what we do is we take students where they are, we see the diamonds in the rough, and, we polish those diamonds and we let them just shine to the extent that they can. And then we also make sure that they are connected with not just mentors, but with sponsors, people who are going to provide them the opportunities that they probably could not imagine themselves having in their communities. And I think that that's important. That's what HBCUs do. I think that's the beauty of HBCUs.
No doubt. No doubt. The Chamber and Stillman both care deeply about workforce development. We've already talked a good bit along some of those lines. But where do you see the opportunity for the strongest collaboration between higher ed and local industry? You mentioned a few minutes ago, whether it be Mercedes or others, but where do you see in your eyes those opportunities?
Internships and apprenticeship.
Yep.
So another challenge that I've given to my team is that for every Stillman student who desires some type of experiential opportunity, that I would like for them to have
Yep.
those. So any entity that has opportunities for internships, we're very happy to talk about that. I just hired a new wonderful director of career exploration.
Okay.
So we're changing the way that we approach that. So I think that also I think there's opportunity for individuals to be mentors because that's very important. There's opportunity for individuals to be adjunct instructors because it's all about the exposure. We want to make sure that our students are exposed
Yep.
so then they have the opportunity to expand their network
Yep.
so that they can see the people in the positions that they aspire to be in.
And those opportunities build bridges for the next generation,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Going to shift a little bit. We were talking a few minutes ago, being a historic institution at this time in higher education, what lessons have you learned? What have guided you along the way as far as kind of the leaders that you're molding for the next generation?
So I'm going to start with myself as a leader. So I've learned that you have to be decisive, but yet you have to be humble. You have to realize that at all times you're an example. You have to also realize that sometimes it's not necessarily about the title, but it's about the work.
Yep.
Be willing to do the work. Be willing to roll up your sleeves. I've also learned that it's good to hire people who are smarter than me. I don't have to be the smartest
Yep.
person in the room.
No doubt.
I like a variety of opinions. I think and that's what I try to impress upon my students. And then also it's about having a servant's heart. Be willing to serve, not be served.
Yep.
And because I think a lot of times in this generation, students tend to look at where you are, but not what you've had to do to get to where you currently are. So I say to them, yeah, I'm the president now, but think about how many people I've had to work with, how many people I've had to work for, and how many times I probably wanted to say no,
Yep.
but I didn't say no.
That's right.
Because I saw it as an opportunity to learn and to grow.
Yeah, sometimes we have those jobs of moderating expectation, right?
Right.
There has been a path in order for you to get from where you were to where you are.
Yes.
And look, we can all be impatient, but we have to say yes a lot, and we have to figure out a way.
Right.
When that way isn't always clear.
Right. And sometimes about being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yep. And in a changing environment like we've talked about, in higher education as a whole,
Yes.
There are a lot of uncomfortable conversations if I.
Right, right. And then just it's about just realizing that, particularly for me, and I guess it's for you also, being accountable to so many people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm accountable to the board of trustees, which hired me. I'm their only, I like to tell folks, well, I'm their only employee, but then being accountable to parents, students, faculty, staff, alumni, in
That
some ways to
alumni,
you,
yeah. Well, and
in the state,
that alumni has an
right,
expectation of the institution, right?
right.
That they've seen
Which
a history of, and don't always see the changing parallels that you have to deal with.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
which is often nostalgic, and they don't quite understand why things can't be done the way they were done 20 or 30 years ago. And so, yes, it's very much a balancing
Balancing
act,
it. Yep.
and trying to. But I think to the point I made earlier, it's about the relationships. I
Yep.
think that if you're able to develop relationships with all of those constituents, then you can convince them that you're moving in
Yep.
in a positive direction, or at least get them to agree
Yeah.
agree to disagree,
That's right.
to find consensus.
And it's
And
all,
that's what we do. We find consensus.
it's all about student experience, but then the outcomes that come from that too, right? And as long as everybody kind of keeps their eye on the prize, we can all work
And
together
that's
and
what it's
row in the
about.
same direction. So, Dr. Page, one kind of off the wall question here. When you're not on campus leading students and doing all the things that you have to do in your role at Stillman, where might we find you around town? Where are your favorite places, hobbies? I know you've got children here in town too. What are their interests? Kind of beyond the walls of campus.
So beyond the walls of campus, you can find me in a couple of places where I have my favorite coffee spot which is located on Jack Warner. So I'm gonna say that. But I recently found that there's a marvelous brunch at the University Club.
There you go.
So I like
Yep.
the University Club. Of course, I like Catfish Heaven when I want some wings or some fish. I like to kind of like just walk in that downtown area. It's
Yeah.
very nice and quaint near the strip. My daughter has been very active in Tuscaloosa. She's actually in a Nutcracker performance with the
Okay.
Tuscaloosa community dancers. So I'm very excited about that production next month. So there are a lot of nice places that tend to inspire me in Tuscaloosa.
Well, and all those things make up the community, right?
And all of those
I
things make
love
up
the
the
fact that your
community.
daughter's involved in the arts. We have that interest in my household as well, and it's one of those things that probably I never would have thought would have been a connection point for me. But as we live our lives through our children, it opens new doors too.
And yes, it does. And I've been able to enjoy some good football here in Alabama at the university, as well as some high school football as well.
Yeah, it's we're known for our football, but I would encourage you to catch a basketball game here and there. And
So
and,
last
and-
year I did.
yeah,
I
and,
did.
And then speaking of that, having the conference tournament on you guys' campus this past year was something big for the community as well, right?
So yes, that has been amazing. That has been the result of a partnership with Visit Tuscaloosa. So in 2026, it will be our third year of hosting the HBCUAC tournament in Tuscaloosa on Stillman College campus. We're very excited that in 2026, we're going to host the HBCUAC basketball, baseball, and softball tournaments in Northport at the new complex.
Awesome.
So we're very excited about that.
When those opportunities give the college so much exposure, right?
Yes.
Not only locally, but on a broader scale. And
Yes. So I think some, especially for the community, for those, to your point, who may not have been exposed to Stillman athletics
Yep.
or the conference athletics in general, it provides an opportunity for individuals to come out, cheer on the Tigers, not the Auburn Tigers, the Stillman
Thank
Tigers.
you for that distinction.
Cheer on the Tigers, because I understand that rivalry,
yeah.
Kyle. But to cheer on the Tigers and to, again, get a sense of the type of, and caliber of student athletes that we attract at Stillman College as well.
Right. Well, I'm going to kind of get us to a point where we can wrap up. But, one of the things that I wanted to ask you today is, if you had your one opportunity to to West Alabama as a community, kind of one thing that you wish everyone knew about Stillman, what would that be?
That we have great students at Stillman, and those great students are eager for opportunities to be a part of West Alabama, be a part of the greater state of Alabama. We just would like for entities, individuals to come over, visit with us, visit with our students, and you'll find, just as I did when I came here in 2023, that we have an amazing group of students, but I would say also faculty and staff as well.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate that partnership that we have with Stillman. Have several events a year on campus, and we appreciate you guys hosting us as an organization onto campus. But it has opened my eyes to other things that you guys are doing. And look, at the end of the day, the student talent that's coming through there are going to have an impact on our economy locally, on our workforce specifically, and that's how we build a better community, right?
Absolutely.
That education is the one thing that can cure all of the ills.
It brings everybody
society.
together.
No doubt. No doubt.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate, again, your partnership. We look forward to the great and wonderful things that are to come for Stillman as you make a greater impact on us as a community, but also those students that you engage with every day.
Thank you. It's been wonderful. And as I said, my time here in Tuscaloosa has been great.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Page.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Waves, West Alabama Voices Echoing Success, the official podcast of the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next month as we continue to amplify the voices shaping the future of West Alabama. For more stories and updates, visit us online at westalabamachamber.com or follow us on social media. Until next time, keep making waves.
Alabama One, a partner of West Alabama Chamber, offers a full suite of financial products, including checking and savings accounts, personal loans for home, auto, and recreational vehicles, as well as land and equipment financing. Go to alabama1.org/what's your one to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.